Give me the fast way.
The fast way is drop thermonuclear weapons over the poles.
You're a supervillain. That's what a supervillain does.
Elon Musk is the archetypal serial entrepreneur with a string of successes before the startups that would make him famous.
You've got your finger in so many different advanced technologies. As I said, SpaceX, Tesla, now you've got Solar City and the solar pack that people put in their houses.
He is loved by many and loathed by a few, especially politicians who think he is arrogant and dangerous, and fellow billionaires who can't stand the heat of his competitiveness. This man is a complete package, but is he a supervillain? Let's find out. Musk is one of the most powerful people in the world. As SpaceX CEO and founder, he is the figurehead of the modern space travel and exploration industry. He is a man of grand and improbable dreams, of building hyperloops, of romancing movie stars, of colonizing Mars. And he has proven himself capable of realizing at least some of his wildest goals. Elon Musk is a mega-rich innovator who wants to and probably can fundamentally change the world. And his ambitions don't sink in well with everyone. This is where things get dicey. How will he change the world? Is Musk a hero or a villain? Is he the dashing, inventive James Bond or a dastardly Stavro Blofeld with better hair? That's what we'll be finding out. Robert Downey Jr. turned to Musk for help getting into character as Tony Stark for the 2008 film Iron Man. Musk's enthusiastic embrace of technology for technology's sake, and his desire to push the limits of what was possible for private enterprise, made him a close, real-world analog for Marvel's billionaire arms dealer. That aside, many argue that, despite his significant ego and affinity for hype, Musk is actually good. He's an optimist within an economy powered by cynics, much more interested in addressing existential threats to the human race than he is profiting from them. Not to mention, his enthusiasm for these issues has inspired a fan base passionate about environmental issues, infrastructure, and space exploration. Musk forces us to talk about stuff that matters. Look, Musk is almost definitely, like 99.9%, not a megalomaniac bent on galactic domination. But this is the 21st century. Brexit happened. Donald Trump happened. For the past decade, rationality has not necessarily been the best policy. Musk spent the first 3 decades of his life in relative obscurity before the sale of PayPal in 2002, from which he netted $165 million. That money served as the nest egg for an ever-growing fleet of projects. From electric cars and solar power, he progressed to interplanetary exploration in the form of SpaceX, which plans to launch its own fleet of satellites and eventually colonize Mars. Another Musk brainchild is the Hyperloop, the futuristic transportation idea he publicized and that 2 different companies are now spending millions of dollars trying to bring to life. Is Elon Musk preparing everything he needs to escape the planet and survive after destroying Earth with a secret doomsday device? I genuinely don't think so, but it's yours to judge. And just why do politicians dislike him, with the exception of, Donald Trump, who, for obvious reasons, is so much different from your ordinary politician? Well, Musk brings to the conversation a vision of changing how we get around, how we power what gets us around, and where we live. In doing so, he is working to address some of the most important challenges facing our species. One, obviously, is climate change. New energy technologies and reductions in barriers to the diffusion of nuclear energy could obviate the need to burn as many fossil fuels. We have vast stores of oil and coal reserves that we might end up leaving in the ground, not because of government directives, but because we came up with superior alternatives. Musk is leading the vanguard in the fight to make fossil fuels irrelevant. On top of that, Musk's plan to colonize Mars is related to his vision for energy. By broadening our portfolio of homeworlds, currently inefficiently small at 1, he is striving not only for energy sustainability, but for human sustainability. Putting all your eggs in one basket is pretty bad financial advice, and having only one planet is probably inefficient for a species that wants to ensure its continued survival. The billionaire nonetheless takes a lot of flack from the left, right, and center for the degree to which his enterprises rely on government subsidies. Subsidies, special tax breaks, loan guarantees, and other government handouts are bad policies, but they are unavoidable facts about doing business in the 21st century. Entrepreneurs in the rent-seeking society face a prisoner's dilemma. They would all be better off if they agreed to eschew subsidies and other government goodies, but if you know all your competitors are going to refrain from seeking subsidies, then you have an incentive to seek subsidies in order to gain the upper hand. If you know all your competitors are going to seek subsidies, you have an incentive to seek subsidies lest you be forced out of the market by a privileged competitor. In light of this, we can say that Musk's real competition isn't other firms vying for dominance in a market defined by free enterprise and competition. It's other firms vying for dominance in an industry heavily polluted by government regulations, cronyism handouts, and political favoritism. But despite all these, Elon Musk is on a mission to stop giving a shit what people think of him. Just recently, politicians and unions criticized Elon Musk after the CEO of Tesla and SpaceX tweeted asking for sketch ideas ahead of his debut as a host of Saturday Night Live in May 2021. Throwing out some skit ideas for SNL. What should I do? Musk posted on Twitter. Twitter users, including politicians, union groups, and journalists, responded by suggesting he should pay higher taxes and donate some of his wealth. The tycoon also spread misinformation about the coronavirus and held a skeptical posture early on, tweeting, "The coronavirus panic is dumb," on March 6, 2020. His opinions most often land him in trouble with his critics. Some think that Musk's idea of the best possible world will be a technocratic, hyper-capitalist dystopia ruled by him. He's got a savior complex. The road to hell is paved with good intentions and driven on by Tesla vehicles. They argue that Musk is in the business of selling a vision of the future, and they do not think that he buys into that vision, because it involves his companies securing the future of humanity. Additionally, they say that if Musk succeeds in establishing a stronghold in the world of privatized space travel, he would sell salvation. He's already said he plans on charging $200,000 a ticket. Critics, notably politicians, think there's a good chance he would establish some sort of scholarship or lottery or both to open up spots to people who lacked the money once he had already turned a profit. But even in that scenario, Musk would be determining who lived and who died. It's terrifying, according to them. Basically, they think that Musk wants the world to be a better place, but not as much as he wants to have maximum power in whatever world we live in. But all said and done, we can't take away the fact that Musk is trying to save the world. Theories and possible future outcomes aside, when you survey all of the companies Musk has created, it's clear he's more die-hard future environmentalist than a power-hungry billionaire. Solar City blazed the trail for commercial and residential solar panel installations, which are good for the environment. Tesla manufactures desirable battery-powered cars, which are better for the Earth than their gas-run counterparts. OpenAI, a non-profit that Musk co-sponsors, is dedicated to ensuring artificial intelligence won't somehow get smart enough to turn against humans down the line. The Boring Company and Hyperloop exist to simplify the way humans travel. So, from your point of view, do you think Musk is humanitarian, a capitalist with a hero complex, or a supervillain? Let us know in the comments down below. In our upcoming videos, we'll be showing you more about Musk's plans for the future to get a clear view of who he really is and his plans going into the future. So make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on any of them.